Well, good morning and welcome to another episode of Kitchen Catastrophes with Melissa. Today we will be making biscuits. So I've already got my ingredients prepped here, so hopefully this won't take extra time. The first thing we're going to do is preheat the oven. It's actually already going. And I've already put my parchment paper in my tray, so that is good to go as well. So next I'm supposed to take a large mixing bowl. I like this one because it also pours, although I don't need to pour with this in a particular recipe. And I'm going to add my flour. So this is 2 cups of flour, all-purpose. And then after that, we're going to add baking powder. And yes, I did make sure baking powder and not baking soda. I learned from my sister on that one. So, and this is just a tablespoon, right? Yep, a tablespoon. Okay, and then I'm going to add 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt. All right. By the way, today, as we get working, I will be telling you the story of how I almost destroyed my mother's kitchen table while making candy. Well, attempting to make candy. All right, so now that I have mixed those together, I'm supposed to add in chopped butter. I've never heard of chopping butter before, so I don't know exactly what I'm supposed to do. So what I did, as you can see here, is I just cut it into tiny squares. That seemed chopped to me. So if not, oh well. I don't think it'll be the end of the world. I hope. All right, and so now that I put those, I'm supposed to use my hands to mix the dough. I like that, until crumbly. So while I'm doing this mixing, now I can tell you the story. So it must have been around Christmas time, I think, because I had this brilliant plan that I was going to make these hard candies like peppermints. And so, you know, I searched out the recipe in one of my mom's cookbooks, probably Betty Crocker, or Better Homes and Gardens. I think those were both of the ones that she had. And so I go about heating the stuff on the stove and mixing it all up. And then I put out on the table a bunch of wax paper, and you're supposed to put these things into like little drops, and it's supposed to make little discs. So I do this. I make these little discs of candy, but the thing is, wax paper and hot candy causes melting, and well, we'll just say that it all hardened very hard onto my mom's kitchen table. And of course I begin to panic because I think I've ruined my mom's table. I'm getting out spatulas and stuff and trying to remove it from her table. Cut myself on a piece of the candy too. Anyhow, and I start thinking about my mom's gonna kill me. Mom's gonna kill me, I've ruined her table. Then I remembered my mom didn't particularly care for that table. So I was like, okay, mom will be okay with it. But I did eventually get all of what would have been candy off of the table. Yeah, so we ended up with a bunch of stuff that went straight into the garbage. All right, now I've got this pretty well mixed. I'm supposed to mix it all up until crumbly, thick texture remains. That seems about right. And so now I'm supposed to add my milk until just combined, and it's a 1/2 cup of milk. I am using unsweetened almond milk. Now this, it says I'm only supposed to mix until just combined. I'm not fully sure I know what just combined, ooh, that's cold. Not quite sure what just combined means, but I guess it just means don't over mix it. I guess I'll learn what that is. This stuff really sticks to your hands. So the question is it mixing or is it just sticking? Oh, it smells good though. All right. And these, in this instance, the recipe is for vegan biscuits. These ones happen to just be vegetarian because I did use real butter instead of vegan butter. But it's good to know that I now have biscuits that I can make that both my sister and I will eat. With her being lactose intolerant, I can make these vegan for her, and me being a vegetarian. They don't have lard, so this is good for would work for both of us, as not this particular one though. All right, I'm gonna consider that mixed. Okay, get the goo off my hands long enough to put some flour out on the counter. And yes, I did check. This flour is not expired. I did learn that from the bread incident a while back. So I did double check. I decided from now on I need to make sure I keep things like flour stored in the original packaging so that I can check that. So no more flour jars or things like that for me, unless I'm putting the container inside of the jar. All right, so got my flour. I'm gonna transfer my dough onto that flour. And that's where I find that some of it didn't quite get as mixed in as other parts, but that's okay. Mix it in a little as we do this. Okay, now, fun story. When they put this together, a couple things they said, they listed a couple of things, equipment you need. They said mixing bowl, spatula, and baking tray. They didn't say anything about a rolling pin, but supposedly you're supposed to use a rolling pin because I'm supposed to now roll this until it is an inch thick. So I can't do that, but I'll do kind of like when I make pizza dough and just use my palm to kind of flatten it out to about an inch thick. And then the next thing, of course, that it mentions that you're supposed to use, which also were not in the list of equipment at the beginning, is you're supposed to use a scone cutter. Who owns a scone cutter? I don't know. So I am just gonna go with a good old-fashioned glass. It makes a circle just as well. So, okay. So, here we go. I don't know if that's quite an inch, but it'll work for my purposes. So I'm just gonna keep cutting these out here, and then I'll put them in the oven. They bake at 400 for 12 minutes, and then I will be back with the finished product. All right, we're back. The timer's just about to go off, so let's see what we have. Well, we know we're gonna have biscuits, we just don't know if they're gonna be good. Biscuits, that's a great place to start. Let's start with this one. This one's a little crumbly, but the last couple ones I knew were a little extra crumbly. Now I don't know how to know they're done other than to just kind of break into one of them. Not bad. And done. All right, so of course, a couple quick tests. Have to try it with the usual kinds of things we put on there. So let's try a little bit. It is really crumbly though. Try a little bit with butter, because always got to do biscuits with butter, right? Or my other favorite, gotta go with a little honey. A little local raw honey, good stuff. Gotta go local because they say something about when you, of course I'm not gonna be able to open it, when you use the local stuff, the pollen and stuff in there, that the bees, because it's local, it's supposed to help or something. Oh dear. Okay, we're gonna try this, running this under water real quickly here. Hot water would probably be better. This is going to be it. This will be the catastrophe if I can't get the honey open. Yes, and you noticed I put my glasses on probably. Yeah, should have been wearing them earlier. My eyes got a little tired, so. All right. You'll notice that nice little swivel there, even though it still shook a bit. It's because you're on the music stand. Okay. It's been rinsed, it's hot. Why don't we go ahead and use the gripper as well. There we go. All right. Didn't have to run next door and ask the neighbor. All right. That would have been awkward. I suppose I could have taken in some of the biscuits as a way to say thank you, I guess. All right, so here we go. All right. Not the best biscuits I've ever had, but definitely edible. Well, I hope you enjoyed this episode of Kitchen Catastrophes with Melissa. We'll see you next time. Bye!